Good evening. There are renewed warnings about taking care in the hot weather as temperatures in the south soared into the 30s once again today. The Met Office has issued a level 3 heatwave alert, and the Coast Guard is urging people to be extra careful if cooling down in the water. Richard Slee reports from Bournemouth.
The lifeguards were in action early this morning on the lookout for a missing toddler. But 2-year-old Rupert from Totton was found safe and well, if a little tearful. This is typical of the sort of incidents the lifeguards respond to at Branksome Beach, unlike on Saturday when a man drowned after getting caught in a riptide just up the beach at Sandbanks, one of 7 people who died after accidents at sea over the weekend.
But it's probably a result of the fact that we'd had some very good weather beforehand. It was quite stable and the conditions just changed and took people by surprise. And a day like today is typical. It's beautiful. The water looks amazing. However, at times it's very, very cold. There are unseen currents that you don't know about. And so the safest place to be is at a lifeguarded beach between the flags.
On Bournemouth Beach, they're also concerned about safety on the sand, with heat stroke a common problem.
Applying sun cream is probably the priority, and staying hydrated. We have plenty of kind of free drinking water taps along the seafront. Keep hydrated, otherwise you're going to feel it later.
Do you see some people who are clearly not taking your advice?
So, sometimes we do. We see people that are kind of red like lobsters, and you think they're going to feel it later.
Of course, it's the children who can't look after themselves and have to rely on mum for help.
We're making sure they've got hats on and regular sunscreen, so we're putting it on every 10-15 minutes or so because they're really fair skinned, so they're pale like me, so we need to make sure we put it on a lot, making sure they drink water.
So Charlie has on Factor 50 today and a UV suit which protects him from the harmful rays, and a sun hat and some sandals on his feet.
The beach was also busy at Brighton, where parents were also keeping an eye on their children.
All water is treacherous with children, and suntan lotion and the water to drink.
With sunshine like this, if you're not near a beach, then the local pool is the next best thing, with plenty of people enjoying the water at the Lido in Aldershot. Well, this certainly is perfect beach weather if you're on holiday. But while you're lying there on the sand or swimming in the sea, please bear a thought for those of us who have to be at work.
Reporting there. In other news, footage has been released of the dramatic aftermath of a crash involving 4 cars in West Sussex. Emergency services were called to the collision in Curves Lane in Horsham late last night. Police are searching for a driver who they say left the scene. They're also asking for any witnesses to the crash to come forward. An investigation has been launched after a man was raped in a park in Crawley. The victim, who's in his 20s, was walking through Goffs Park last Friday morning when he says he was attacked by 2 other men. The man's body has been found in a house in Southampton. It was discovered inside a property on Oakley Road in Millbrook yesterday morning. Police say they are not treating the death as suspicious. This week has marked the first anniversary of the Shoreham air crash. Now a group of young musicians have recorded a song in memory of the victims. The band, called the Street Poets, were friends of Matt Jones, one of the 11 men who died. Proceeds from the track are being donated to a charity helping those affected by the disaster. With more, Malcolm Shaw.
Now as we walk this bridge of flowers, carry on, carry on.
A heartfelt message to the victims of the Shoreham air crash and those they left behind. A band called the Street Poets have written the song titled Bridge of Flowers, a reference to the spot which has become a focal point for the community's sense of loss.
Although it's such a tragic thing that happened, and it's a very, very sensitive area, a very sensitive subject, you've always got to try and bring something positive out of it, no matter how bad it is. And I think doing this was the perfect way to do that.
Taken too soon and I know it's wrong.
This was a tragedy which struck Nino and other band members hard. Their friend Matt Jones, a personal trainer from Littlehampton, was among those who died when the plane crashed onto the A27.
He wasn't the type of person to just sit around and do nothing, because he wanted to get things out of life, and you know, he never held back, and that's what sort of made him such a great person, because everyone could see how much, you know, he just loved living.
The track was recorded here at the Airtight Studios on the edge of Chichester, mixed by Ryan James, who gave his services for free. Jack Hibbert says the band worked hard to strike the right tone.
I remember sitting there for hours thinking, how am I supposed to word this? How am I supposed to put this into perspective? Because there's not really a lot of words that you can say about it, so it seems like the only way that we can express how we was feeling and just try and bring everybody together.
The Street Poets have already performed the song live at a number of venues, as well as promoting it online. They're donating the proceeds to a fund set up to help those affected by the tragedy. Malcolm Shaw, ITV News.
The British Red Cross says the Selsey Academy fire was one of the largest incidents it's had to deal with in recent times. Emergency teams provided support and refreshments to West Sussex Fire Service, who attended the blaze on Sunday. 3 response vehicles and 15 volunteers were sent to help out at the scene.
Our team provided mainly welfare support, so things like water, teas and coffees, and a place for people to go just to talk about what had gone on and have a break away from the actual scene itself.
A man who robbed a bank in Bournemouth is being hunted by police. Staff were threatened and cash stolen during the robbery at Lloyd's Bank in Wimborne Road in Kinson just before 10 o'clock this morning. The only remaining bus to Boscombe Pier makes its final journey on Friday. Bournemouth Borough Council is scrapping the service as part of its budget cuts. It says the route is limited and what it pays per passenger journey is higher than other supported services. Details of a new exhibition celebrating Major Tim Peake's space mission have been revealed. It won't be ready for the public to see until later in the year, but the Novia Museum in Chichester is busy planning how best to chart the adventure of their famous resident. Our reporter Emma Wilkinson has been to find out more from someone who knows better than most just how much of a journey it has been for the 44-year-old.
Liftoff of Tim Coper, Yuri Malenchenko and Timothy Peake.
It was a launch watched by millions. Now another launch is on the horizon, albeit on a slightly smaller scale. The launch of an exhibition charting Tim Peake's journey to space and his journey through life. His father Nigel is helping bring a personal touch to the project.
You think that you've got almost used to having had a son in space, but it continues to be surreal as we've been into various schools. And they all say, did he really start in a school like ours? Did he really do normal things like we do? Yes.
We want to make sure that everyone sees Tim's mission not just a 1 6-month thing, but that we start looking at how we can inspire the next generation of children, how we can make sure that the legacy is secured.
And that's what this exhibition will aim to do, but at the moment it's at the design stage. Now, to get to the exhibition, you need to go up in this lift. Now, at the moment, it is simply that, a lift, but in time, it will be transformed into a rocket lift. And it will take you from the Roman era on the ground floor to the space age on the second floor. Granted, it requires a bit of imagination at the moment.
This gallery will be completely transformed. So we're going to have robot arms, we're going to have a thermal imaging camera, we're going to have space gloves people can put on. People will feel like they're walking into space.
The exhibition will open in December, but will Tim himself find time in his busy schedule to pay a visit? I'm told he'll try his best. Emma Wilkinson, ITV News, Chichester.
Let's take a look at the weather now with all the details on this warm evening. Here's Helen Plint.
From cold fronts to camping, driving through Europe, Eurotunnel the Shuttle sponsors ITV Meridian weather.
Hello there, a very good evening to you. Well, it may not be quite as warm as last night, but certainly still sticky and stuffy out there this evening. Overnight lows of 18 or 19 degrees pretty widely. And you could just see the odd flash of lightning in the sky as well, accompanied by these showers. They could be heavy at times, but fairly fleeting by the time we get towards dawn. In fact, drying out through much of tomorrow morning, although we may just see one of those showers lingering for a time. But into the afternoon, well, the sunshine returns, more in the way of cloud tomorrow, but not much to spoil things. A little bit cooler as well, highs of 25 degrees, but still pleasant.
Eurotunnel the Shuttle sponsors ITV Meridian weather.
And that's it for now. We're back during Good Morning Britain from 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. Do join Amanda for that. From the late team, thank you for watching. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye for now.